10 American bridges have trapped truckers by inches, and every one of them is still standing out there today, waiting for the next driver who trusts a sign that lies. You know the feeling. You come around a curve, you see the overpass, and your gut does the math a half second too late. Some clear it by an inch. Some peel the roof off the trailer like a sardine can, in front of a crowd with phones out. And here's the part that should bother you. Every bridge on this list is a known problem. Cameras on them. Websites about them. Cities have spent $100 grand on warning signs, and the trucks keep hitting anyway. So today we're counting down 10 American bridges that have trapped truckers by inches. Number 10's a joke people leave reviews on, but the one at number 1 killed 4 people, and they still couldn't bring themselves to fix it. Let's get into it. Number 10 kicks us off out west with the truck-eating bridge in Kirkland, Washington, a little pedestrian overpass on an old railroad corridor with just 11 feet 6 inches of clearance. And I'm starting here because this one's become a genuine internet pet. It gets hit so often, almost weekly, that people leave 5-star Google reviews for the bridge itself, thanking it for the entertainment. Here's the part that matters. That old rail structure is built like a tank, so the bridge always wins and the truck loses every time. Now, to be fair, this one's on a quieter corridor and nobody's getting killed. It's the least dangerous bridge on this list. But I put it at 10 to make a point that gets heavier as we climb. A bridge that eats a truck almost every week isn't a funny accident. It's a design that's been broken from day one, and nobody's fixing it. They're just reviewing it. Number 9, Irving Park Road, Chicago, Illinois. And this one earns its spot for a reason every driver already dreads: the detour. When the road gets shut down and the signs send you around, some drivers follow the GPS instead of the orange signs, and the GPS doesn't know how tall you are. It runs you straight at an overpass never meant for a high trailer. Here's what matters. The bridge gets hit hard enough that the city has closed the road just to clean up after trucks that ignored the posted route. Now, in fairness, this is the most avoidable one on the list. Read the detour, not the phone. But that's the trap, isn't it? After 14 hours, tired, in city traffic you don't know, the little voice on the phone feels easier to trust than the sign. And the phone has never once measured your load. Number 8, Big Penny, Lansing, Michigan. The Pennsylvania Avenue Railroad Bridge in Lansing, Michigan, known all over town as Big Penny. 12 feet of clearance and an appetite. This thing has eaten so many trucks the community treats it like a local celebrity, a running tally, the jokes, and, yes, it once took the roof off a semi-hauling Bud Light, which is about the most Michigan sentence I can say out loud. Here's the part that matters. 12 feet sounds like a lot until you're running a box truck or a rental that stands 13, and Big Penny doesn't care what your receipt says you can drive. Now, to be fair, the locals turned it into good fun, and a little humor beats a lot of anger. But underneath the jokes is the same tired story. Everybody knows the bridge is too low. Everybody knows it'll happen again. And the answer so far has been a nickname instead of a fix. Number 7, Park Street Bridge, Syracuse, New York, a low railroad bridge that traps trucks often enough that the city has been working on warning systems just to slow the bleeding. Remember Syracuse. Write it down, because this is not the last time this one city shows up on the list, and the second time is going to stop being funny. Here's what matters. These downtown rail bridges are frozen in place, the tracks can't move, the road can't drop far, so the clearance stays wrong, year after year. Now, in fairness, Syracuse is actually trying. Sensors, signs, warnings, but keep that city in the back of your mind, because when we get to number 2, you'll understand exactly why they're so desperate. And real quick, if this list is making your stomach tighten, hit subscribe. It's free, and unlike these bridges, it won't cost you a trailer roof. Number 6, Independence Avenue Bridge, Kansas City, Missouri. This one makes me shake my head every time. 12 feet of clearance under a bridge built in 1912 for horses and buggies. It's been standing there, too low, since before most trucks on the road were even an idea. Here's the part that matters. In one stretch in 2020, this bridge got hit by 3 trucks in 5 days, including semis from names you'd know, and one got torn apart and half flipped in the process. The city's poured close to $100,000 into repairs and signs over the years. Now, to be fair, the signage is better than it used to be, and locals learn to route around it. But $100 grand on warnings and not $1 on fixing it tells you everything about how this country treats its old bridges. We'll pay to warn you, we won't pay to solve it. And the driver eats the difference. Number 5. Louisville Can Opener Viaducts, Kentucky, where a cluster of low railroad viaducts near downtown have earned the same nickname you've been hearing, the can opener. And this one gets ugly when the interstate goes down. Here's what matters. During one I-65 shutdown, drivers got pushed onto surface streets they didn't know, and those viaducts caught at least 5 semis in the chaos. One after another, roofs peeled, lanes blocked. Now, in fairness, on a normal day a local knows which underpass to avoid. But that's the cruelty of it. These bridges do their worst damage on the worst days, when the highway's already closed and you're somewhere you've never been. The bridge just sits there in the dark, at the end of the detour, waiting. Number 4. Storrow Drive and Memorial Drive, Boston, Massachusetts. Running along both sides of the Charles River, with overpasses down around 10 feet, 6 inches, low enough that hitting one has its own name. Around here, when a truck gets its top peeled off under one of these, they say the driver got storrowed. Here's what matters. These are old parkways, cars only, no trucks allowed, and every year like clockwork. On the 1st of September, when the whole city moves apartments on the same day, the rental trucks pour in and the bridges collect their harvest. The state runs a campaign every summer just begging people not to do it. Now, to be fair, it's banned, it's posted, warnings everywhere. But when half the college kids in America rent a truck for one day, with parents who've never driven anything bigger than a minivan, the outcome is written before anybody turns the key. It's not an accident anymore. It's a season. Number 3. Long Island Parkways, New York. This isn't one bridge, it's dozens of them, and this is the one that should actually make you angry. The parkways of Long Island, New York, the southern state, the northern state, are lined with overpasses built low on purpose back in the 1920s and 30s, some of them dropping down to just 7 or 8 feet at the edges. Trucks are banned from these roads completely. Here's what matters. It doesn't matter that they're banned, because the GPS doesn't know, and every week another box truck gets funneled onto a parkway with no legal way off, before an overpass built deliberately too low for him to fit. New York has spent real money on laser sensors and flashing warnings to fight it. Now, to be fair, a professional who knows the area knows to stay off the parkways entirely. But think about what this one really is. Not an old bridge nobody got around to fixing, a bridge somebody chose to build too low, on purpose, and 100 years later, the driver's still paying for that decision by inches. Number 2. Onondaga Lake Parkway, Syracuse, New York. A CSX railroad bridge with just 10 feet, 9 inches of clearance. I told you the second time wouldn't be funny. Here's the part that matters, and it's the reason this one sits so high. On a night in September 2010, a double-decker megabus followed its GPS onto this parkway. The driver took the wrong route, and the bus hit this bridge at highway speed. 4 people were killed. 4. This isn't a peeled trailer roof and a viral clip. This is the moment the joke stopped being a joke. And here's what should chill you. The bridge is still exactly that low today, and it still gets hit around 9 times a year lately. Now, to be fair, they've studied it and added warnings, and the railroad says it's open to raising the bridge if the state pays for it. Read that again. It can be fixed. Everyone agrees it should be. It killed 4 people, and it's still standing there at 10-9 because 2 agencies can't agree on who writes the check. Number 1. The Can Opener, Durham, North Carolina. The original can opener. For decades it stood at 11 feet, 8 inches, and became a legend for one reason: it would not stop shearing the tops clean off trucks. A guy mounted a camera on it back in 2008, and hundreds of strikes later, the whole internet knows this bridge by name. Here's the part that puts it at number 1. In 2019, they finally did something. They raised it 8 inches to 12.4, and everybody celebrated. And you know what happened? It kept eating trucks. It still does. And that's the whole point of this entire list in one bridge. This is the most watched, most warned about low bridge on planet Earth. Cameras, sensors, a famous website, a light that turns red when you're too tall, and it still catches professional drivers by inches because the railroad won't lower the tracks and the city won't regrade the road. So instead, we mounted a camera and made it a show. Now, to be fair, one more time, because it matters, a lot of these strikes are avoidable, and knowing your height and your route is the job. But when a bridge is this famous, this hated, and this obviously broken, and the answer for 80 years has been a warning sign instead of a fix, at some point it stops being the driver's mistake and starts being everybody else's choice. So that's the 10. From a little bridge in Washington that people leave 5-star reviews on, to a can opener in North Carolina that got famous for a problem nobody will pay to solve. And I'll be straight with you before we go. Yes, knowing your clearance is the job, and most of these are avoidable on a good day. I'm not letting anybody off the hook. But every bridge on this list has one thing in common. Everybody knows it's too low. Everybody has known for years. And the fix is always somebody else's budget. So the sign goes up, the camera rolls, and the driver, the one guy actually doing his job out here, is the one who pays by inches. Now it's your turn. Drop it in the comments. Which low bridge in your area do you route around every single time? The one you'd warn a rookie about before he learns it the hard way with a crowd watching. Somebody running that road tomorrow hasn't heard about it yet. And if this list earned a spot in that map you keep in your head, subscribe. It's still one of the only things out here that's free. Until next time, keep the rubber side down, the shiny side up, and always know what's over your head.